What up, world? You on the mic with Mike, Mr. Mike, and this is Keep That Chair Spinning. Let's get it. All right, good people. Welcome back. As I said, you are on Keep That Chair Spinning. I am your man, Mr. Mike. By now, you know what we have, man. Just a podcast here geared to helping out some of the early barbers that are just getting out of barber school, man, trying to find their footing, or maybe a barber that's been in the game for a little bit and just finds themselves stagnant at a barber shop that they feel like they're not getting any help out. This is what we are here for, man, to help you kind of get over that hump. So let's go ahead and dive right in, man. This week we want to talk about punching the clock. Okay, it's simple and plain. It's really just a matter of being there, making sure that your face is seen, making sure that you have that opportunity to catch all the walk-ins that are coming in, and you'll get you a couple of veteran barbers that just feel like they're tired of dealing with that one customer that does always come in late or walking in or whatever. Hey man, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? So that's an opportunity for you to scoop that on up and turn that into your forever client. Believe me, forever clients is a real thing, man. Again, I got customers that I've been cutting 8, 10 years, so believe in that and just understand that, as I said in the first one, treat every haircut as a job interview, and they will stick with you for a very long time until maybe they move away or whatever the actual case may be. But there are forever clients, man, but it starts with punching the clock and just being punctual and making sure that you show your face to the customers as they come through. I think for me, the best way I can kind of explain it is to make sure that you work as much as the shop owner works, whether that's, being there before the shop opens or being there after the shop closes. Kind of hang around, get there a little bit early. I mean, most shop owners, they like to get there early. They've been at it for a while. They understand that, getting there at a good time and setting yourself up, it helps you get there going and getting in that vibe. Because for me, just whenever I come in running in and I'm walking in the same time my client, the rest of my day is thrown off because I'm having to rush and try to get into the groove and find my steps, opposed to when I get there 15 to 20 minutes before them or before the shop opens, and I have time to set this up and maybe check up on a couple towels or razors, make sure I got enough razors, or make sure I got neck strips ready just in case I run out or I'm getting ready to run out. I can go set that up. So just try to catch on to your shop owners, man, their coattails, and hang close, man, because again, most shop owners, they've been at it for a while, so they got a good routine, a good groove that they got going on, man. And that's just something that you can keep in line and hang on to, because you'll catch a lot of their stragglers, man. There's a lot of people that they just kind of get tired of dealing with, or truthfully, some of their customers get tired of dealing with them because they're so busy. So, you can end up catching the scraps, man, and they end up turning into your forever customer. So definitely something to think about. Just try to be there when that shop opens and try to be there after that shop closes. Again, 10, 15, 20 minutes afterwards, it doesn't hurt like you're making yourself known. One thing for sure is, like, you still have the older gentlemen that like to get up first thing in the morning. They've been up since 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. So by the time your shop opens, where that's 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning, man, they're halfway through their morning. So they'll come in and try to sneak in and get ahead of the crowd, and they just walk in. Of course, the older gentlemen don't like to make appointments too much, so they'll just come in and try to get in whenever they can. So I mean, you can scoop that haircut up, even if it is $20, $25, it's keeping the chair spinning, it's getting somebody in your chair, and you get to build that customer, rapport with them, because again, they're halfway through their day. They're ready to go home and take a nap or whatever the case may be. They're ready to go ahead and unwind for the rest of their day. So that's just what they do. But you got the back end of the day where you got most of your plant and construction workers who don't get off until 4:30, 5 o'clock, and 9 times out of 10, they're clear on the other side of town. So it's going to take them another 45 minutes just to get to you. So you'll have some that'll walk in 10, 15, 20 minutes before a shop closes, and they need it bad because the rest of the shops around town, they close at that same time and they just can't get in. So make it a point to try and be there for them as well. I mean, you hang around and you just never know what type of fish you'll catch. So that's one thing to think about. You know, the first shop I worked in, there was an old school man that had said something and it stuck with me like glue, real good glue. And he would say is stick with your chair. Um, and basically what that meant was if you always in and out the shop, or you out back doing this, or you feel like you need to go do these errands because it is a slow day, you're gonna miss them customers. So you got to stick with your chair. You want to always make sure that you are present, even if it is a slow day, even if it's a 10-hour day that you sitting down 8 hours out of the day. Stick with your chair, because again, sometimes you're gonna luck up. A customer may have booked an appointment with their actual barber, but the cousin is in town, or they had their son for the weekend, whatever the case may be, and they just still brought them, and they asked their barber like, hey man, I know I didn't book him, but is there any way you can knock him out? Okay, well, nah, but my man Mike can. Like, Mike, you good? I mean, you get the scraps. Like, and when you're first starting out, you take all the scraps, even if it's an edge up, if it's a ball fade. Like, you get all the scraps. You get what you can, because you want to keep busy. You want to show not only the customer, but you want to show the shop that you're willing to work. When the rest of the shop sees that you're willing to take the scraps, that you're hungry, I promise the rest of the shop will continue to feed you just like that too. But if you I'm good, I'm waiting on one, and you sit around for a whole another hour before you take another cut, they won't feed you, because you're not acting like you really want to work. Or if you, oh no, I'm about to run to the store real quick and go grab something to eat, something to drink, it's just a waste of time, and the shop stops believing in you before you even get started. So you want to stick with your chair. The customers need to see that you do want to work, that you are about starting a career within that shop. It's the same thing, like true experience. I had probably about 3 years strong. I had one customer that would come in, and his barber was always late. I mean, would definitely just give him a horrible time. He'd be 30-40 minutes late. But he stuck with him. He wrote it out. And one time my shop owner, it was like, man, you can go try Mike out. And man, hey, my man wasn't getting nothing special done, but he was like, nah, because he looked at me as a new barber, and he was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna wait. Well, 2 years later, he finally gave me a shot and knocked it out, and he became my customer. You know what I mean? Because one, I was always there. Two, I did a good job, but he could depend on me. That's one of the main things, is that the customers want to be able to depend on you. It's definitely a thing that we have going on right now in the industry. You still got a lot of barbers that are kind of taking it for a game, and that's the last thing you want to do. Again, if we're talking about making this a career, we're talking about providing for not only us but our family. You want to make sure that you're present. You want to make sure that you take this thing seriously. So stick with your chair, show up, because there is going to be that one barber that's going to slack, and they're going to take the time off. They're going to take the day off and think that they just got that customer locked. Boom, they become your customer just like that. It's another barber at my other shop that used to tell me that too. He was like, they're not your customer until they sit in your chair. It's the very same thing. They can sit in your chair for 3-4 years strong, but one day, for whatever reason, you can't get to them, or they're in a rush, and they're gonna sit in that next chair and get a decent cut, a better cut, whatever the cut may be, and you lost that customer just like that. But hey, it's all in the game, free throws and fouls. We can't cry over spilled milk. We keep it moving, we keep it pushing. We're going to get back on the grind, how to keep that chair spinning. So just stick with your chair. Show the customers that you want to work, that you're all about it. And I promise you're going to end up catching those scraps. And scraps are good, man. They feed you, you know what I mean? Fish and bread, you know what I'm talking about? But just stick with your chair, man, and I promise you're going to scoop up some good things. You want to show the people that you are there, even if you are sitting all day, because they show that you're about it. They show that you're consistent and that you do provide. I just thinking about my one customer, though. I do want to give him a shout out right now. The Let Me Be Great young gentleman of mine, Mr. Derek Lee. You can go check out his website, Distinguished One. They got all the greatest apparel. Right now they do have 40% off, so if you get a chance, go check it out. I will drop the link in the information down low, so make sure you go check him out. That is Distinguished One. Mr. D. Lee, he got you, man. Shout out one time. But back to it. Another thing is lunch. Okay, you want to think about lunch. Go grab it. If you're going to actually go out and go sit down and eat, or go pick it up and come back, or if you're just going to the break room in general and go eat, go do it. Make your mind up. That's one of the main things. Is a lot of times we'll sit there and we try to play hopscotch with, like, oh, is that a walk-in or not, and you end up skipping lunch. Man, let me tell you, lunch is very important. Make sure that you sit down and grab your bite to eat. I was very bad at this in the beginning, probably about the first 4 years. Like, I would skip lunch any opportunity it came to, but I was hurting myself. I was harming myself. When you get to clocking in 40, 50, 60 hours a week, you need to eat, because you're only hurting yourself. One thing I know about these customers are they really don't care about you. So you want to make sure you take care of yourself. And that's from eating and the shoes that you're wearing. Them J's may look cool, but if you ever saw the Last Dance documentary, Jordan told you, man, them first Jordans ain't about nothing, man. Like, you can't stand in them bad boys all day. So just something to kind of think about, not only your shoe wear, but lunch. Make your mind up, go eat, and just come back and get to it, get straight to it. But my thing is, definitely make your mind up and go do it. Go grab your bite to eat. And for me, I try to do the best I can. I try and meal prep and bring all that good stuff. I mean, the economy is so jacked up. You got a meal from Jack in the Box costing $12, $14, and that's just ridiculous. I work like a plant worker and make me a ham sandwich and bring it up to the shop if that's the case. But just make your mind up. If you're gonna eat you some lunch, go do it. Get back in a timely manner. You know what I mean, and take care of your business and come on back. Also, as I mentioned, as far as like making your mind up, you need to kind of weigh out when your family functions are coming about too. Like, if you're a big family, I get it. We got bar mitzvahs over here, quinceañeras over here, weddings over here. All that's cool. Like, you want to definitely make it as many activities as you can family wise, but you need to know when you start missing so much work, your customers are going to end up letting you know. How would they let you know? When they jump in the next chair. They were looking for you on Thursday, but you wanted to be at the Rockets signing or whatever, because they signed whatever little draft. All right, well, they needed a haircut for their bar mitzvah or whatever the case may be, and they end up jumping chairs. So once you start missing too much time, your customers do start to pay attention. They do start to notice, and they do start to get a little irritated. Now, trust me, you can't keep everybody happy. I do understand that. But when you're first starting out, man, you want to punch that clock as much as possible. So try not to be out and about in the streets too much, man. Try to be there. Try to limit your time off, especially if you got a pretty strict owner. For me, I try not to be too strict on everybody. I try to let you live your life, but at the same time, I understand that them customers they start looking for you, especially if they're trying to build that rapport. And some of them, they don't book appointments right away. They continue to walk in, and that's just all they know, that until you get groomed in that manner. So they come in looking in, and they asking the shop owner, hey, where's such and such? And it's like, well, one, keep that communication with your shop owner. Even if you are going to miss that work, let them know, because it puts the shop owner in a situation where they're like, hey, where's Tony? I was looking for Tony for a haircut. Well, Tony didn't call me today. He didn't even tell me. So once Tony starts doing that way too many times with the shop owner, that shop owner, I promise you, is getting ready to get rid of you. So keep a communication with the shop owner, but just try not to miss too much time. But even if you are going to miss some time, try to let that shop owner know in advance. And for me, as a shop owner, try not to pile up those no-shows or those events that you have going on. Like, I hate the repetitious days missed. Like, you missing every other Thursday. Like, I start to notice that, and the shop owner does too. Or you missing every other Wednesday, or you miss 2 Wednesdays in a row, make one Wednesday, and then you missing another 2. Like, try not to miss as much time. I promise. Like, it does start to take a toll on you, not only with the shop owner, but with your customers as well. And then you find yourself in that loop where you're having to go find another shop to work at, and you're hoping that these customers follow you back to that shop too. So just be mindful. Try not to be so out and about where you're always making the concerts or the shoe signings or the family functions and all that good stuff. You know, just try to space it out as much as you can, because again, your customers are looking for you. So just be mindful of that. And I think one of the key things in it all is to be punctual. You know, one of my junior high football coaches, what he said was, if you're on time, you're early. If you're early, you're on time. So you know, you just want to try and make sure that, and I know I did butcher that. He said, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. But what he was saying was, you know, just trying to show up at your 9 o'clock appointment. And like I said earlier, walking in with them, you going it just kills it, you know what I mean? Because pressure starts building up and you end up messing up on the cut because they kind of urging you, telling you that they got to be somewhere for 9:45 or 9:50 or whatever. So just try to be punctual. Make sure that you're on time for your first appointment, because how you do your first appointment, I promise, is going to do the rest of your day. So if you're late for that first one, the rest of your first half of the day is going to be bad, and you find yourself being late for lunch, or you're rushing through your lunch and how you have to skip your lunch, and now you just, you know, your whole day is thrown off. So be punctual. Try to be on time. It's kind of the same thing like I was mentioning earlier as well. We got too many barbers these days that don't take this seriously, and they just end up losing customers. And you know, it makes a bad name, not only for you, but it makes a bad name for the shop as well. And the shop owners possibly listen, like you'll see it, like they never come back. And the main thing is, you want to always have the customers coming back to the shop, even if they aren't dealing with you directly, you know, or that same barber. Like, you want to try and make sure that you feed them to another barber, because you want to keep them in-house as much as possible. So just be punctual, be there on time. Try to make sure that you get through the cuts on time, that you're not sitting here telling jokes all day or telling stories and you end up 15-20 minutes behind for your next appointment, and they got somewhere to be, but you know, they booked online reviews. They start to leave those reviews, and the reviews were magic. So just try to do your job, man. Try to stay on it. You know, punch the clock, stick with the chair, be punctual. If you're gonna grab some lunch, grab some lunch. Nobody can fault you for that. Anybody that does fault you for trying to eat and take care of yourself, they're not for you, you know. But that's it, man. That's really all we got for today. I appreciate it as always. Punch that clock, keep that chair spinning. Holla at your boy, Mr. Mike. One.